Hey, how you doing, man? This is Joe D. Share Beer 345, and we are back, and Barrick is better than ever. We got Barrick, Mark, and Zach with us today, man. How you guys doing, brothers?
Doing well, doing well.
Doing good.
And Mark's back from his trip. How you doing, man? Everything go good?
Yeah, went good. I'm back, back working. Had a good trip. Some beer, some food, some family.
Now,
In the right proportion. More beer
in
and
the
food
right,
than family.
yeah, yeah. More beer and more food than family. Yeah.
Yep. Got to have your priorities right. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you start with the beer and then everything else you can just deal
Yeah.
with, right?
Handle
It's
it.
like, yeah, the more good beer I get, and then if the food's so, yeah, so what? You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
if the family's a little, you're like, so what? And Zach, the big this we got to get to Zach, man, because I know how bummed out he is. They benched his quarterback, and
Although,
I know he's really broke up about that. And so what are you gonna do now, man? I mean, they benched Manning.
they're going to finally figure out that they shouldn't have got that old bastard in the first place.
You can tell he's really broke up about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that. And I was like, oh man, poor Zach.
Well, but I mean, it's sad when you fucking things do.
Yeah,
When you complete almost more passes to the other team than you do to one team.
Yeah. That's usually not a good thing.
well, you know what you ought to do now, man, is make a beer in his honor.
Yeah.
You know.
Bench warmer brown ale. How about that?
Brown ale at that too. That's hilarious.
I was thinking you call it menthol red or something.
Oh man, that's funny.
Hmm.
Uh, so what are you drinking today, Barrett?
Well, I just finished Invasion by Cigar City, but now I'm drinking one of mine.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
And which one is it?
Well, what do you think?
Let's see. Something to do. Citra, maybe?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were all out of Citra when I went and made my next 3 batches, so I'm making Cascade Bombs this time.
Cascade bombs. Okay.
Because they were all out of Citra.
Well, that's similar, but not quite the same. I mean, same general flavor, but yeah.
It's in the ballpark.
Yeah.
And,
Cool.
and Zach really turned me on to the experimental pine fruit and the experimental grapefruit.
Experimental pine fruit is now called Eureka.
Is what?
It's now
Eureka?
called Eureka.
Eureka?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
If you want to buy it, that's what you're looking for.
I didn't order it because they were out of it, so.
Yep. Order Eureka.
From the
Okay.
same place, right?
Yep, same place. It just got accepted into like the actual hot market.
Okay, so it's no
That-
longer experimental. It's out of beta testing. Huh?
Was
Yeah.
that the pine fruit or the grapefruit?
Pine fruit.
That was my favorite. I like the experimental pine fruit over the grapefruit.
Yeah.
Anyway, wow, thanks. Eureka.
Eureka.
Giddy
Yeah,
up.
so it's no longer experimental. It's official, baby.
There you go. Well, that'll be my next
Official.
batch.
Yep.
Yeah, that's in the other one, is that still experimental as well, or?
The experimental grapefruit,
Yeah, it is. I don't know if it's coming back.
I haven't seen that. So
Okay.
you're right. They probably won't come back with it.
So that one's probably all
There was a
part-
list of like 6 or 8 new experimentals. I'd used one late last year called Janice Hopland that was really good.
Janis Joplin. So Janis Joplin. Got it. Ooh, man. Someone likes music. They created that hop, huh?
No doubt. Yeah. So that and what do you remember what you got off of that? What was it? Just real hoppy, or I mean, what kind of hop? I mean, what was the flavors off of that?
Really resiny, really dank. I mean, just like pot.
Oh.
But
D- Does that? So does that go well with Janis Joplin? I'm not a
I
huge.
would think so. Like super
What's it
big.
smell like a skunk?
Yeah, very skunky.
uh,
Oh, very skunky. Okay, so. Oh, hey, and what about did you happen to see any news locally about Snoop and his new weed line, man?
I saw that. What's it, leaf
Also,
weed or something?
Snoop by Leaf by Snoop or something? Yeah,
Okay.
Leaves by Snoop or something? Yeah.
it
Well,
also
He's got like I think it was like 10 different kinds of weed.
maybe Peyton Manning ought to try that.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like
All the pain of getting benched a little bit.
as soon as you seen that, right? As soon as you seen that announcement, you're like, that makes all the sense in the world. You're like, of course he did, right?
Yeah.
Of course he came out with his own weed line. I mean, that had to happen, right?
Yeah.
That had to happen. You know, all the other rappers got vodka. This cat got weed. You know what I'm saying? But that's like built in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I mean, really, he should have his own beer line too. Really, his own malt liquor line, shouldn't he? I mean,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
his.
Malt liquor, yeah.
I mean, he should. I mean, all that you could actually and gin, right? Because he's
Mhm.
got that one song with gin and
getting
juice.
juice all day.
You know what I'm saying? And he's got like all this stuff built into his music, man. So you could like get all effed up, right?
Mhm.
in all the different ways, listening to Snoop Dogg, right? So then you could really be a true fan, right? Like you're all in, right?
All Snoop all the time.
You're all Snoop all the time. Snoop and Dre. You could be all, you could be listening on the beats and all the other stuff, right? And you could
Straight
be
out of Compton.
all yeah, straight out of Compton, but you live in Nebraska or some crap, right?
Straight out of Sydney.
Yeah, straight out of Sydney, man. Yeah. Hey, that's it. That's another thing. Just want to send a quick cheers out to all the folks in France, man, that are going through all that. I don't know exactly what happened because I don't watch the news, but I mean I keep hearing about this massacre that happened over there. You know, so I just wanted to send a cheers out to those folks, man, if they happen to be watching this. Of course, who doesn't, right, Mark? Like,
Oh yeah.
I mean, this is broadcast worldwide, man. This is
Billions
breaking
and
news.
billions of.
It's a bad, bad deal. That's for sure.
What did exactly happen, man? Because
From what I understood, it was 4 separate explosions which created four separate hostage situations.
Yeah, it was. They've determined it. They think it was ISIS, and they did an explosion outside of a soccer stadium, a shooting at a restaurant, a shooting in a theater.
And then the Eagles of Death Metal concert.
Yes, at a heavy metal concert, and yeah, just a bunch of other bad stuff. So.
yeah, I heard the concert footage. I guess they were playing their music, people were having a good time, and then just all of a sudden you heard like gunfire and then people moaning and stuff, and just like that sounded off. On one of my podcasts that I listened to last night, they were playing the sound, and just the sound was horrifying, man. It really was.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like the music. It was loud and stuff like that. It sounded like people having a good time, and then you just heard gunfire, and then it was silence, bro, and then just moaning.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It was like, oof. Yeah, it sounded pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, you gotta give it up to France. They're not putting up with the shit either.
Oh, did you hear who was it? Was it Kimmel? Or no, it was Charlie Hebdo. You know, the satirical newspaper in France that got hit by the terrorists earlier in the year. They came out with it. They came out with their edition today or yesterday, and they basically said, "F-bomb you, ISIS. We got champagne."
Yeah, so a big cheers to them. I know they're known for their wine and their champagne, but there's got to be some good French beer somewhere. I mean,
Saison.
yeah, saison, yeah.
You have Belgian Saison and then you have French Saison. Mine is French Saison.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they've got a whole style that's been switched around lately. That's for sure. It's gained a lot of popularity. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
A lot.
Yep.
Seriously popular. What, just in the last 2 years, right? I mean, it's gained serious popularity.
Yeah. A lot of brewers are coming out with a saison.
Yeah, a lot of brews. Yeah.
But the best is Peppercorn Saison by Chain Reaction Brewing, of course.
Hey, there you go. Yeah. Is that a French style?
It's pretty good. Yeah, that's a French one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of these days, brother, we're gonna get down there. That's one of your most popular ones too, right?
That's the most popular, yeah.
Yep. Very drinkable, tasty, good stuff.
Yeah, it sounds. So, what are you having to drink now, Mark?
Guinness Extra Stout.
Oh, extra stout.
We're partying in Ireland tonight.
Yeah. It was a beer that was on sale at the grocery store when we got home. So
Yeah.
I don't have any beer in the fridge. We got to have a beer. So this was $7.99 a 6-pack. So that's not too bad. I don't think.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Normally like $9.99 at the grocery store.
That's an 11.2 bottle.
I think it's a 12. No, this is a full 12 ounces. They're not shorting me here like that. Like that other Guinness Nitro IPA that was only 11.2 ounces.
So that particular one, I wonder if that one is made in America.
It says Ireland.
Don't they have a brewery here in America?
They
somewhere?
do. Yeah, they.
I believe it's in Canada, isn't it?
Oh,
Canada, but they also do a lot of contract stuff at the Rolling Rock, the old Rolling Rock Brewery in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
That's where the Guinness American Blonde or whatever that one is brewed.
It should tell you where it is.
Yeah, I gotta put on my glasses because I can't see anything.
See, now we got them going glasses again. See.
Yeah. Oh, this just says product of Canada, New Brunswick.
Okay. Well, Canada's like America, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the same brewery they make Red Stripe out of, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, because as soon as you said it was 12 ounces, I'm like, that has to be brewed in America. It has, you know what I'm saying? Like, or somewhere in the West.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so. Yeah, Canada makes sense.
Yeah, it's a pretty good beer. It's not nitro. It's just regular carbonation, but it's a tasty beer. I like it. It's really, it's got some serious dark roasted malt flavor. That's for sure.
I was tempted to get that nitro. What was that other Guinness you had that one day? That nitro.
The Nitro IPA.
Nitro IPA, yeah.
I still have one can of that actually, so I might have that after the show, just to kind of finish out.
I will, just to make it a complete Guinness.
That's right.
Boom.
I have a Guinness as well.
Do you really?
I have the Guinness Generous Ale.
Is it a red ale? Or is
It's
it
a
holiday?
Generous. It just says Arthur's Holiday Ale.
Oh, okay.
I've had that. I know I've had that. What do you think?
And I would say it's about the color of about a Newcastle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Flavor reminds me of like a mix between a Newcastle and a red ale. A little bit fruity, some toffee, some.
Okay, that's a good holiday flavor.
Kind of easy body.
Yeah.
It's not nitro, but this one is brewed and canned in Ireland.
Okay. And is it a Irish, a European pint size?
16 ounce.
16 ounce. Okay.
Oh, yeah. You see, Bum's bringing up that what was it, Kronenberg 1664.
Mm.
Yeah, and that. See, for me, that's a good example of a beer that blows. Like I just don't like it.
Yeah. I like what Guinness has been putting out. I like that they've got this idea of, everybody always said how great the brewery was over there, but
Hmm.
they're not putting out crazy ideas like Coors and those
Yeah.
guys. They're just like, this is our holiday ale, this is our IPA, this is our.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're not putting out, but it's the thing of it is for a brewery that's been around for so long, and then for them to do different stuff like that, it's a big deal for Guinness,
It
you
Hmm.
know.
makes you wonder though, because I don't know a whole lot about what's actually served in that pub. But from what I understand, the beer that everybody looks forward to over there on the whatever it is, that's James Arthur Day.
Oh,
James Arthur Day, I can't remember. I think that's what it's called. Is every whatever, and they actually brew the original Guinness recipe, which is actually a porter.
Hmm.
You guys have never watched the National Geographic special on the Guinness? It is one of the best hours I've ever spent in my life.
Really? Wow.
You can watch it on YouTube or whatever for free.
Okay.
It really is super cool.
Does it give a good history of the brewery and how they came to be and all
Oh
that
yeah,
stuff?
and there's stories of Guinness was never supposed to be that popular, and that when they started getting popular, the town sheriff came to the brewery and said, "Hey, we're going to cut off your water supply." And the owner of the factory at that time came out with a pitchfork and said, "Get off my property."
That's the kind of story you want in beer. Come
Yeah,
on. Uh,
it's kind of a bad. But the coolest thing about this, I'm pretty sure it's James Arthur, is so in Ireland you have to be a certified pub to even serve Guinness.
mm,
It's not like out here that you just get a keg of Guinness. Guinness has to come and they test your wines, I believe, once a week to make sure it's the exact temperature, exact flow rate, and everything
hmm.
to pour a proper pint of Guinness. And at any bar that is serving real pints of Guinness, uh, for 4 days you have to have live music all 4 days, and that
really?
has to be free, and the beer has to be free.
Wow. Who can argue
Um,
with free beer and free music? Come on.
and then at the actual Guinness place, they do a massive thing with like more popular artists. And
Well,
it's all free.
it'd be cool if we had John in the show right now because he could definitely tell. I mean, he lives right. Like, well, he
Yeah.
worked there, didn't he? Didn't he? Or,
Yeah, he did. He did.
It sounds like it's a really cool thing from what I've heard. Like I said, it's just from the show that I saw. But, I mean, just some of the stuff of how they drive their truck into an alleyway, belly dump it in the alley, and then all the grains put down into a basement, and then it goes through the malting process.
yeah, that's pretty cool. That is. I look forward.
You would like it just from a trucking aspect, I think.
Yeah. Oh, I look forward to. I've been in touch with some truck drivers that are in Europe, and as well as just fans of the show that are in Ireland, and I look forward to going, man. And I can't see myself not going in the next at least year and a half. You know what I'm
Share
saying? Like,
Beer 1000.
oh, it's
Share Beer 1000 takes over Ireland.
I'm looking forward to it, man. There might not be a share beer because I might just be. Yeah.
That's how it's going to be for me.
If I go out there, it ain't gonna be something that I want recorded. I'll just say that. Yeah, it's gonna be one of those for off camera. You just
Yeah.
Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Just
Yeah.
yeah, that's but I do look forward to going, man. It's I want to have some good whiskeys and some good beers and just enjoy the whole environment. You know what I'm saying? The songs, at least that's what I remember from Germany, man. I remember singing songs and stuff and having pint after pint after pint of beer with people I don't even know and just having a blast. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we have
Hey.
our friend back with us again. How you doing, man? I'm sorry,
Good.
I forgot your name again. What?
That's all right. It's Scott.
Scott, that's right.
Hey, Scott.
Hey. So,
Yeah,
I'm
he
just getting
was
my
with
name.
us. Scott was with us last week, and he has a podcast. What do you call it? Positively
Godless.
Godless. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can check Scott out as well. But yeah, he enjoys some craft beer. What you drinking anything right now, my friend?
Budweiser Baptist Church. What did I do last week? I grabbed a bunch of bottles.
Yeah.
No, I don't drink beer at all.
Yeah.
Beer? What's that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He had a bottle of what? It was like 6 bottles or something like that of
That was
Budweiser,
from like the
wasn't it?
night before I didn't clean up, just so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to turn this into an intervention. Like, we need to talk.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So no, our show is not as evil as you may think it is. We talk about things in the news and that drive us crazy from a non-religious standpoint.
Sure. I mean, we all have to have a show. I mean, we all have to have our something that we like, so that's it. There's people that'll watch this that I have no doubt will be into that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's absolutely fine, man. At the end of the day, we all do believe in good beer, and that's where we can join together right here, man, and have a good time. So it's yeah. Welcome, Scott. Thanks for jumping in again.
Oh, absolutely. I didn't mean to interrupt it. Go ahead.
So, what are the thoughts on this Budweiser Miller merger? I'm seeing some headline. I have not had a chance to read this story, but it's saying something about the deal might not affect the U.S.
Well, it's not geared towards the U.S. They don't give a shit about the U.S., which has been the fucking problem since they didn't have an SAB ever took over. They're both just terrible companies. But the deal that I had read that could go through was the only way to make it like not a monopoly on the market is if Molson Coors buys back their state, and Coors actually goes back to being a Colorado company.
Yeah, I heard that Coors was involved. Yeah.
Yeah, that would take 27% out of the company. But what AB InBev wants is the SAB part of the company, because that's the part that's based in South Africa. South Africa is supposed to have the largest turn of legally drinking age people ever in the next couple of months. So they want to capitalize that market. They also have the Chinese market, as we had discussed. But from what I heard, the largest brewery in China, nobody's really sure who owns it.
I didn't catch all of that just because the audio.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, it starts out clear, and then it gets kind of muffled, Zach.
I think that's just me going, rubble, 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 rubble.
Exactly. That's more user error, right? It's kind of like, yeah, see, that's what'll happen with me if we record something in Ireland. See, it'll be like,
yeah.
It's like, this is what you're going to sound like in 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Yeah, this is your brain on a lot of Guinness, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. On a lot of Guinness and a lot of Jameson, right? This is your brain. That's hilarious, man.
But yeah, it's a scary deal. But as I'm glad Coors stepped up and said, "We'll go on our own."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've got the impression they wanted to get out of it anyway. So
Well, Coors just came out saying they support craft beer, they support homebrew.
yeah.
So I wonder what that'll do to Coors. I wonder if Coors will get better, actually.
That's a good question.
You know what I'm saying? Will that bring Coors back to like that Pabst Blue Ribbon charm? You know what I'm saying? Or will it bring that Coors 70s and 80s charm back?
Hey, Zach, I'm just going to mute you quick because there's an echo.
Yeah, I'm gonna go try.
Oh, shit, sorry. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that quickly.
Yeah,
Sorry.
It happens sometimes.
Yeah, sorry, Zach.
This is the one thing, Scott, that you don't know about Zach, and Google hates him.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So anything Google can do to really ruin his life, it does. So that if there's anything gonna start happening weird with the show, it'll be when Zach jumps in here because Google has conspired against him.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
If he had content to view on the Google would ban him. Yeah.
Yes. Like it did me.
Exactly. Yeah. Google wiped the earth of Mark. Mark does not exist on Google. Somehow they allow him to stay on this show.
I don't know.
Somehow they allow Mark to stay on this show. I don't know how. Just like you said, I don't. But they do. They
I'm
permit
like
him.
Charlie Sheen. I just pay a bunch of hush money. You heard that Charlie Sheen, right?
Yeah,
Did you hear that today? Yeah, yeah. HIV positive, and he's paid out millions of dollars in hush money to keep it quiet for like the last few years.
Hey, Scott. See, now this is something for your show because
Oh, we'll talk about it, definitely.
you could for your show you could say that Google is God. But it pretty much, you know, I mean, they both have the same. They start with the same two letters, Scott. So you
They
could be
do.
like, you know, when you're wiped off of Google, you're done, son. Like Google is the God.
Is
man,
the God,
right?
yes. So we'll have to we'll change our show name to Positively Googleless.
Exactly.
Google us.
Oh man, I think you're going down the wrong direction with it, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, there's no charge for that. No charge for the whole new, you know, refresh of the show.
Right.
We've launched many a successful startup off this show just with our ideas over the last 344 episodes. But we don't get credit for it.
We get absolutely nothing, you know? Yeah.
Twitter, that was our idea. We started
Hello.
that a long time
Hello.
ago. Yeah.
Right here, you know, we were kind of like, you know, it'd be kind of cool if you could, you know, send out a quick little message to some people and you know, put an @ in front of it and all that, and you know what I'm saying, and hashtag some stuff, and boom, next thing you know, there's this Twitter thing. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, you know, because we were like, you know, it'd be kind of cool if you could let people know, you know, you're on the toilet. Now I'm in the living room watching TV. I'm in the, you know, do you remember when it started? That's all it was. It was
Well,
a whole
wasn't
bunch of that.
How do we
Wasn't
sound?
that Facebook? Go ahead, sorry, Zach.
How do we sound now?
Great.
Oh,
All right. So once
Yeah.
again, fuck you, Google. Just wait. My computer's going to start on fire now.
yeah, that's what he has had his computer go down, haven't you, Zach? Like you
yeah,
had to
I've
get
had it.
physically a new computer off of this show.
Yep. Like there's been water like come from across the room and break my computer.
Don't mess with the Google.
Yeah.
So-
no. But didn't
They-
Facebook start out that way? Like, you know, like your name and then is? Do you remember when Facebook did that at the very beginning?
I really don't. No, I
Oh,
really
okay.
don't.
I was a serious MySpace user at the time, so you know.
I'm the only MySpacer left, I think. No, I don't use MySpace. But I do have an AOL account.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Mail.
you know what's funny is that I do know a lot of people that have AOL. Hell, I think Varric, don't you have an AOL account?
Actually, it's still my main account.
Yeah, it's mine too. Yeah, it's mine too.
I got like three Google ones or Gmail ones, but I still use my AOL as my main one.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say, wait a minute. There's someone I know, close to the show that it's Barrett. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's hilarious, man.
Yeah, I'm no
Yeah.
longer getting the, hey, do you want to cyber IMs, though? I kind of miss those from back in 97.
Fuck.
That is. Yeah, we used to in the early days of this show, we were on a Stickam, and yeah, a lot of weird stuff used to happen on Stickam, man.
Yes, indeed.
There was just a lot of banning of some stuff that happened on Stickam, man.
Yeah.
It was
The wild, wild west.
I never even used it, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
There's this blog that I was checking out, and they asked an interesting question, and it's a common question, but a really simple question. But the more I thought about it, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna bring that up in the show because I think it's a good point. And the question is, how much do you really know about beer?
Fucking way too much.
Yeah, now see, in Zach's case, Zach is someone that I
My
would
entire
say.
life.
Yeah, Zach.
But other
because-
than that, he's not too into it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Barrick, let me start it with Barrick. How much do you really know about beer? From a home brewer's perspective, you feel comfortable in your knowledge of beer?
Well, it depends on who I talk to. If I talk with Zach, I feel like an idiot. If I talk with a Budweiser guy, I feel like a genius. You know?
Yeah.
There you go.
Hey, thanks, man.
Well, I'm just mean as far as the process and all that stuff. You know.
All I know is how much I have left.
That is important, exactly.
You got to know that. I mean, really, you don't want to find yourself without.
Actually,
Guys,
on,
go ahead.
go ahead.
I've never made a whole grain batch. You know, so I'm certainly not in Zach's league, but I do make some pretty damn good beer. So
I've also been in this industry for it's going to be 8 years now that I've done not only brewing but
Reviewing.
beer
Right?
reviewing,
Yeah.
and all that stuff as well. You know,
Yeah, because when we first met you, you were still
I was
writing
a
on
writer.
beer.
Yeah, I was a writer and home brewer,
Mm-hmm.
and you know I've done that since. Well, shit. No, I mean I started my own website when I was 18, so I've been.
how old
In
are
the
you
room.
now, Zach?
I'll be 27 next week.
Do you believe it? Sweet
So
God.
it'll be 8 years for doing beer because I started beer right when I turned 20. Cigars and Scotch I started when I was 18.
That is,
So are we going to have a Zach birthday show next week?
Probably, I don't know.
Oh yeah, when did you say your birthday was?
That's just me
I'm-
chugging a lot of Limerita.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, everybody shotguns Limeritas
Yeah.
in tribute to.
No, my birthday's on the 28th, so it's on a weekend, but I'm leaving.
Oh, wow.
Gonna leave town and not talk to any of the family, and it's gonna be so great.
See, that's one of those that we talked about earlier. In that order, right?
Yeah.
Beer, then food, then family. You know what I'm saying? In that
It's just
order.
me and the wife are just gonna go. Got a room downtown, and we're just gonna go. We said that we were gonna see if we could drink $120 worth of Bombers, in a night and then go to dinner and see what happens.
Well, Hal, you can do that with like 2 bombers in some cases, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, we'll get good ones.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's a pretty good question. Joe, where do you feel like you rank on that question?
I feel like I don't know anything. I really do. I don't feel like I know a whole lot. I've never proclaimed to know, a lot
Yeah.
about beer. I've always been like just the blue collar, well, like Barrick was saying, just the blue
Yeah.
collar kind of Budweiser guy, really.
Mm.
It just so happened that, people liked watching it for some reason.
And then, Mark, where would you put yourself? Because you've done a couple homegrown
Yeah, I've done
homebrew
some
batches.
home brewing. I've never done all
And then,
grain.
but I know you're also a guy that goes to breweries and does like the tours and stuff.
Yeah, I would say I know enough to be dangerous, but not enough to be knowledgeable. How does that sound?
Okay. And then my counterpoint on that question would be, how much do you need to know about what you like to not know anything about beer?
Yeah, like kind of.
Because isn't it more about understanding what you like than knowing what you know about beer?
Yeah, and I think I'm doing pretty good as far as understanding what I like, and I know enough knowledge. I have enough knowledge about beer myself to feel comfortable with it, but not to proclaim myself to be an expert. I have enough knowledge to feel good about the beer I drink and why I drink it.
Right, yeah, because, it's funny because I'd have to relate it to, Barrick, close your ears, I'd have to relate it to photography. Like,
Oh, yeah. This is Barrett's favorite part of the show.
You guys don't bother me with this.
But,
Bullshit.
photography is my passion. And people might look at my images and say, oh, this guy, and this guy's pretty good. He probably knows a lot. And I feel like I don't know anything. Like, I feel like I couldn't necessarily just tell you. I'm not one of those guys that could make an image and then tell you, oh yeah, I shot that at this, and pump all these numbers at you like, oh yeah, I did this, and this. Because for me, it's such a feel. I have no idea sometimes what aperture I'm on or what. I just know where it has to be. I know what I want to see, and I know what I want, to feel, and I know the camera so well. You know what I'm saying?
I think it relates directly with, brewers, as far as we're kind of hey, let's wing it. We know a lot about beer, but I've been to a couple of breweries and done some collab batches with guys that, I mean, see ya.
All right, I will see.
They're calculating absorption rates of the hops that they're going to do. And I mean, and I'm just like, well, I don't know. Like, if I end up a couple of times, I don't care. Like, I don't know, like, all the, and then some guys, they're putting the yeast underneath the microscope and counting cells every time that they do it.
Right.
It's like I could just weigh the yeast and get kind of close.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, there's always somebody that, like Ronda Rousey learned this weekend, I mean, there's always somebody.
Nice! Like that, yes. Yeah, there's... And that's kind of...
And it doesn't mean that you're not, like, knowledge isn't powerful as theirs is. It just means, like, they're using theirs differently sometimes. And
I think I think the way you posed that question is a good way of doing it, because I think that sometimes you can be knowledgeable about something, but you just have a different philosophy of how to go about it, right? You just have a different
I think you can be knowledgeable to a point of not having a passion.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's a time and a place that numbers are for, but then there's also a time and a place that just do what you know how to do.
Well, there's always, if you look at beer making or beer knowledge as an art form, there's always artists, right? And that are more, they go at it more from a feel, and there's always artists that go at it more from like actual black and white, actual paper numbers. You know,
Well, that
and they
leads me
both
on.
equally have as strong a passion for that thing. It's just that some of them are more, they just have different ways of going about it.
Well, not you've all had Stranahan's whiskey, probably. Real popular Colorado whiskey. Well, they got bought out by Jose Cuervo 4 or 5 years ago. Well, their head distiller ended up leaving to start his own bourbon company. So Laws was started as this whole, well, we want to make small batch bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I don't care if every batch comes out different. I'm going to label it batch 1, 2, 3. And, now they're on like batch 7 of this bourbon. And not one of them is super alike. But then they also do the thing to show everybody, you never know what you're going to get. If it's warmer, if it's colder, where that barrel was placed. I mean, humidity.
Yeah.
And they're like,
for them,
for a numbers guy, though, that's a nightmare because, how do I control that? Because I want everything the same.
Right, yeah. Yeah,
but for a guy with passion, you go, yeah, that might turn out really well, but I don't care if half the batch is a little different.
Well, and I think, now, I'm not going to go that way, because I think that the numbers guy and the kind of more of a feel guy both have the same passion.
Oh, yeah.
I think they really do,
but their knowledge is used in different ways. As far as I know, it's just going to come out. We'll taste it.
Right.
It'll just do it because we know how to do this.
Right. Yeah. And that's where those breakups come into play, right? You'll get a takeover, and then you'll get a head brewer that'll be like, you know what? I got to go do my own thing now because
Green Flash, Chuck Silva,
Yeah.
It's huge that Silva left. Is it a bad thing for either company? No, not at all. But I just can't believe Ballast Point. I'm in absolute shock that Ballast Point went to whatever it is, Champion this week.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So Corona pretty much bought out Ballast Point.
Oh, wow.
For $1 billion.
That's why they want the Corona. Somebody's like, $1 billion.
And that's actually InBev, right? Because isn't Corona owned by InBev?
I don't know if it's under that blanket. I
think so, man. I think so.
Because it's called like Champion Ales or something, I think.
That's one of those Mexican beers that they bought years ago.
I can't remember who it was It might be distributed through them, but not brewed through them. I can't remember.
And
if I remember right, in that initial announcement, and they talked about all the breweries that they, when they talked about the progression of InBev and all the stuff they bought, I believe Corona was in there. It might not have, but.
And with that being said, I'm actually out of beer, so I got to go.
All right, we're getting back to that basic knowledge. That is where you have to be really aware.
You gotta have enough beer for the show. Come on.
Yeah, I am so sorry. I was not prepared. My dog ate my homework prepared.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. Hey, thanks for jumping in again, Scott. I appreciate it, man.
Hopefully we'll talk next week.
Right. And good luck with that Google list show.
I sent you a little buddy request too, so.
Okay, yeah.
I'll talk to you later.
Okay, man. Bye.
So it's called Constellation Brands. They're the third largest beer company in the U.S. with Corona, Modelo, and Pacifico in its portfolio.
Okay.
I'm not seeing anything about AB.
Yeah, to see Modelo. I thought Modelo was in there.
See, and what that might. So for days.
Because if you remember, I mean, where was Corona and Modelo years ago? And Modelo is huge now. And get it was like, guess who's behind that? I thought it was InBev.
Yeah, I thought Corona was part of, but even if they aren't, they're still, man, if you got Corona, Modelo, and Pacifico, I can see why they're the third largest.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see who owns this, because that might be a newer thing.
Mm-hmm.
Constellation Brands. It doesn't look like they're. It looks like they're their own company. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I can't. Anything I have right now doesn't give the breakdown. Those early, those early stories of the InBev Coors merger listed all the whole timeline. I remember me and Mark talking about the whole timeline of.
Okay, no, I just typed in Google. I said, who owns Corona?
And it comes up.
InBev.
And it comes up with InBev, but if you look up Constellation Brands, it says nothing about Constellation Brands being owned by
okay.
AB.
Constellation Brands completes act. Yeah, so I wonder if that's like a PBA or...
It could be a new deal. I mean, that's the problem with this Bud thing, is they add and drop them so quick.
Yeah.
And there's now stories going around that I've heard that some of these craft breweries that they bought out about a year and a half ago are really struggling, because it was supposed to be said in the paperwork, okay, you guys are going to brew, we're going to help you keep up with production if you need, but what we're mainly going to do is get you out in the market. We're going to guarantee you shelf space.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently Bud reps aren't selling their beer. And it's coming back that this is the Bud schedule, is to buy these guys up and pretty much, throw money at them until they kind of die off.
Yeah, throw money at them, let them languish and not sell, and then they close.
And kill regional breweries.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ballast Point, I mean, that's another good question of, if you've been doing it 20 years... If you were a professional photographer, professional brewer, 20 years, started as a homebrew shop or whatever, how much is the number?
Yeah.
Everybody's got a number.
Yeah. Most people have a number.
Especially when you've been in there, and you've been in it 20 years.
Yeah.
You can't work forever. I mean...
Yeah.
Right. And when you relate it to photography, it really hits home, because there is definitely a lot of photographers that have done that. They've, sold out to the, for the big contract, and they're totally miserable in a lot of cases, because they're shooting a lot of stuff they really don't want to shoot, but it's paying the money, So
see, but this Ballast Point thing was, hey, you guys pretty much, here's $1 billion. You walk away. This isn't like the other acquisitions. This isn't, we're going to work with you guys and this and that. This is, we're going to buy your brand. And we're going to make your brand, and we're going to take it all over.
Yeah.
But $1 billion?
Yeah. I guess, I wonder how many people get that billion.
That would be the question. Is the company employee-owned? Is it private? Is it?
Yeah.
And that that same acquisition happens like in the tech world all day long.
Exactly. Yep.
I mean, it happens all the time.
And a lot of you never notice it.
You meet.
I mean,
at that point, the owners of Ballast Point might have just been like, you know what, we'll take the money and start something different. I mean, it might be.
And in that case, you look, is there no compete clause or something? But even with that, you've done it 20 years. You look at it and you go, it's $1 billion. Why not? I mean, you get tired of working.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would necessarily do it, especially with where they are breaking right now. They are just Ballast Point is blowing up like crazy.
Yeah.
And I'd look and say, I don't know, maybe they're worth more than that. But to me, you can't fault those guys. I don't think they sold out. I think they just were like, yeah, we're done working. That happens with any small business. At the end, you either say, I'm done working, and the company's dead, or you sell the company to somebody else.
Yeah, you sell it to somebody else, you sell it to your kids,
And they keep
whatever.
their story, and I think that's where I see that this is different than getting bought out by AB InBev or whatever, because you're not saying, oh yeah, give me money and I'll still work for you if you make me a popular brewery. These guys already put in the work. They're already a popular brewery.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you see it in your workplaces all the time. I'm sure there's many of us that see it. Like you have coworkers that you work with for a long time. By the time they hit, let's give it a number, 25 years, they could retire, and you meet some that do. They retire the minute they can. And then you meet others that, I need. They'll make up any excuse in the world to work another year.
But that's an independent choice, and I appreciate independent people's values and morals.
But yeah, that gets back to kind of your point though. When you get other breweries that have that, they're faced with that number. Some jump at the chance, and some don't. Some are like, no, go away. We don't want you. We don't need you.
Yeah.
But it's just different values for different folks in it.
Different strokes for different folks.
Yeah. And you can't fault them for that because it's just at that point it is all business. It is all business.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their own way of getting that peel off the banana.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody had to bring banana into the end of the show.
Exactly, man. I'm glad you did. Yeah, in a kind of a sexual reference, and that's properly done.
That train wasn't shaking loud enough.
Yeah, that. Yeah, that had to be done. Good job. Thanks for having our back on that one.
We've had 345 episodes, and I think Banana's been in probably 342. So, keep that train going.
Got to keep the train going, and Limerita's probably been in half of them at least. So.
Oh yeah, at least. Yeah, that's a relatively new phenomenon, but Banana's been around forever.
We'll be getting into the good shows now because everybody can start getting into the big hearty Christmas ales and.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking forward to something. Definitely, like the snow and the good brown ale and oh yeah, meatloaf in the oven, heavy living. Fuck you, I'm gonna gain 15 pounds.
Yeah. This time of year it gets dark early. It's cold. What else is there to do except eat good food and drink beer?
If you guys only knew cold weather, I mean, when it starts dipping below 70 degrees, man, it's absolutely freezing.
We had a foot of snow when we got up this morning.
Wow.
It was blizzard up here. The I-25 at Castle Rock was shut down.
Okay, yeah.
North and south, and I hear it's still closed at Trinidad.
Okay.
Hey, it was cloudy here, man.
Shit.
How do you do it, Joe? I mean, really? I think you should just bag it and move to Saskatchewan or something.
If the damn Cardinals keep playing how they are, it just brightens everybody's day in Arizona. How could anybody be sad?
Bum says Zach is the king of metaphors.
Yeah. I do have quite a few of them.
Again, though, man, we're gonna close this one out, man. But I want to send a cheers and our thoughts are with the people in France, man, going through it right now, man. Cheers to you guys, man. We're thinking about you, man. Just keep rebuilding and bombing people.
Bombing the hell out of ISIS. Bombing the hell out of ISIS.
Make it a parking lot, man. That's what we.
Right. Muzzle it.
I heard a good
Pave
one.
it over and plant grapevines. That's what we need. Champagne.
I heard
Syrian champagne.
There was a great one that somebody said that France is finally so pissed off that we're going to have to start calling them French fries again instead of freedom fries.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because they're being so damn assertive. I saw they've got the videos. I love watching them planes take off.
Oh, yeah.
They're loaded up with the bombs, and it's like, yeah, turn it into fucking glass. Let's have a big old skating pond over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they started that within about 24 hours of the.
Good for them. And then they got the craziest person on the planet, I think, old Vladimir Putin pissed off.
50 million. $50 million, man.
Putin is not. I think he's just an insane person, and I would not want to piss him off.
No. Shirt or no shirt, I would still not want to piss him off. Huh?
No, that dude wrestles bears, and he looks like one.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Well,
We're out of here, man.
Take care, guys.
We'll see you, man. Thanks for showing up.
See ya.
Man. Later.